opportunity.
Okay.
Sometimes not necessarily that the child didn't get a certain score. It also happened that the child was sick or he traveled outside the country and is now back. There's also opportunity for those kids to also be placed and enrolled in the schools.
No, so apart from the parents looking at the grading for their children to considering the grading in so that you choose. I mean, looking at the gradings before you make those choices of the schools that you want your child to look. What are other things that parents should consider in selecting the schools? Does proximity, for example,
the proximity wise has to do with the last choice.
Okay.
The school that let me say the sixth choice. Let me say the sixth choice.
Okay.
The school must be closer to you.
Great.
At least what you call a catchment area schools. It's about 16 kilometers radius.
Okay.
So that in an unlikely event that a child is not placed in any of their categories, then he will have the opportunity to at least work from.
What can you say about the choice of because people think that if you don't get a boarding house, then you've not actually gone to a secondary school. What is that? Because I think a lot of people. The community schools were built so that people around those areas would not stress. We're looking at feeding students in their schools, for instance. We're looking at beds. Last year, some students were supposed to contribute to support beds in schools.
Yeah, I didn't get that information.
Yes,
it's not allowed. It's not allowed.
Yes, it's not allowed. Yes, I mean, I have evidence. I saw it. So you see that it's because the beds they have there is 50, and you still insist that your child should go to that school.
Well, it's discretion.
Is he?
So that is a decision of the parent.
Yeah.
That I want my ward to go to the boarding house or to be a day student. That one is discretionary. We don't compel the parents as to the very status that they should.
Yes, but can't we encourage parents, especially somebody is living at say Lashibi or Nungwa? You can just take one car. You get down and you are off. But that notion that school need a that kind of thing, I think it has to go away. It's putting pressure on government.
Yeah, sure. I know the feeding aspect of it is huge. Yeah, when it comes to the free SHS and its implementation. But I think government is also committed in ensuring that all the resources are mobilized to ensure that we pay supplies and all the stakeholders so that at least we have the best of education for our kids.
I mean, you have given buses to all these schools, and so I mean, a school like the Lashibide Community High School, for example, has a bus.
Yeah, sure.
So the same amount of money that is going to be used, and I don't think government is complaining about the fact that it cannot feed the students. But you as a parent,
that is a notion out there. The government doesn't have the resources to feed the students.
No, we've not heard government say that. But
that's a notion out there. Government is aware.
Yeah.
That there are challenges, but in spite of all the challenges, we are able to. Yesterday, we released a reasonable amount to buffer stock to pay suppliers. So that tells the government is committed.
And I mean, this is just out of the box, but I also get surprised sometimes when we say that we have a lot of money as a country, or the country is blessed with mineral resources, and this is somebody who comes and says, okay, so if you think that we have money, I'm going to prove to you that we have, and I'm going to implement or invest that money into education. And then you are complaining that the person is wasting money on the education. If the person that did not use the money for education, what do you think the money would have been used for? So I think that is one of the things that the president has done that we need to clap for him rather than trying to. But let's come back to what are some of the things that parents should look at apart from the grading to select a school, apart from the results. What other things should the parents look out for before deciding? And you mentioned that you don't want parents to put pressure or tell their children the school that they want to choose. You want them to do it, guidance and all that. But what are some of the things I have to look for? I have a child who's completed free senior high school, junior high school. You want to go to free senior high school. What must I do? What ABCD must I do? Consider before I go and make that selection.
Well, I always tell parents that they should get involved in the whole process. That you may not know, or you may not have fair idea as to the academic performance of your award.
Okay.
So liaise with the teacher, the head teacher, the science teacher over there. So that the child will say, I want to go to pre-sec and do science. Well, the child doesn't have mastery over science and math. So why don't you at least give the child the opportunity to choose, let's say, general arts or visual arts, or any of the TVET schools. Now we have 212 TVET coming on board. They are all part of the processes.
Great. And it's free, fully equipped. And it's so beautiful.
Which the child can also select from. Do you know that last year somebody was sent to one of the grammar schools? I'm not mentioning that school. And the child declined going there.
Wow.
And decided that no, he would go to one of the TVET schools.
Wow.
And we had close to 50,000 students going into TVET schools. So that tells you that if you're able to conscientize the kids, you're able to conscientize the parents, then they will subscribe to most of the TVET schools. But it appears everybody is opting for grammar. But it's hard time that as a country, we began to also look at other side of it, that a country can develop. And it can develop to a certain level. You and I are aspiring, or we are wishing, based on certain courses that we allow our kids to read, right from the second cycle up to the tertiary level. I
think what we need now is skill.
Yeah.
Skill, and you get
the
all
child
this.
has that skill, that mastery of what is using what you call a hands-on approach or the activity-oriented type of education. That is the only way that I believe can transform the fortunes of the country. Now, going back to the STEM schools, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, then the Minister of Education has been advocating a lot about it, that is side that they also give the opportunity to those courses. That's why do we have 18% of our students pursuing science at the second cycle institutions?
Okay.
So how do we change the narrative at the tertiary level, or having 40-60?
Okay.
We can do so by ensuring that we motivate our kids at the second cycle level to do science. But if we don't incorporate, if we don't inculcate that culture in them, then we continue to be doing the grammar courses, the economics, history, geography, law, and so on and so forth.
There's a conflict that comes between parents and teachers. You earlier mentioned that if you go to the school, for example, it is the teacher or the headmaster, let's say the class teacher, who knows your child. He knows his strengths and weaknesses, and is able to tell you that this child that wants to become a doctor, because of ABC may not, and the child has the desire to become a doctor, but he had maybe aggregate 30 and he thinks he wants to become a doctor. What do you do in this situation?
No, is that all our wishes that will come to pass? At least you should look at your strength and weaknesses. That your strength can lead you to this career. That is what you have to pursue. But if you are not good at mathematics or science, how do you pursue science? You can't do general science. But at least there are equally good the careers that you can also aspire to be. And so sometimes we also have to educate our kids that it's not necessary that you should become a medical doctor or this and this. No, there are other opportunities out there if you're able to get to the certain level within the academic space.
I wanted to become a military officer. I wanted to become a soldier. If I was growing up, I really wanted to become a soldier. And I wanted my first son to become a soldier. I've always been pumping that into his mind. He said, no, he's going to play football. That's what he wants to play. I've done everything. He said, no.
Remember ball.
Oh, remember ball.
So what they desire, not what we desire.
Great. Now let's look at some of the challenges that parents go through. We look at sometimes you make choices, schools, and you are not placed at all. Or two, you make a choice to this school, and then at the end of the day, you go there and your name is not there. You have situations where somebody said that you place me cry. In those cases, is it people whose grades were not good, or it's an error from the system?
Now, what we are doing, we started last year in the previous years, is that now the parents will get opportunity to validate every information that they will provide.
Okay. But last year you did same?
Yeah, we did same. So when you are done with the selection or the selection of the schools, the parents will also sign.
Oh, okay.
Validate.
Now you sign, okay.
You sign, you also, indicate your reliable phone number. So that when everything is done, we send the information back to you, what you call the garbage in, garbage out.
Okay.
So send the information, what you do, the bulk SMS will be given to the parents and the guardians for them to validate or to authenticate whether the information they provided
And that's a beautiful thing you people do. I mean, it's beautiful.
The opportunity or there's something, the ingenuity that we also bring in about so that it will reduce the number of, like you said, I was not placed, and so I'm going to, at least sometimes it becomes so worrisome that a child genuinely chose certain schools, of which at the end of the day you also had good grades.
Okay.
It's not placed. Now, the cluster-based system is going to reduce some of these the challenges that parents or the unfortunate situation that parents go through. That if you are not placed in any, like say, A or B, because the A schools, like in category A schools, you have the opportunity we have, let's say, six schools.
Okay.
So if we don't get pre-sec, there's opportunity for you to also be sent to, let's say,
Abomosu.
Not Abomosu.
Okay.
They are all A schools.
Okay.
A school. So if you don't get Achimota, you could be sent to Legon Presec or Temasini. But we'll look at the regional proximity that Greater Accra cannot be merged with Ashanti region because of the Greater Accra and Eastern. So if you don't get Legon Presec, you could be sent to Pesco, St. Peter's.
Okay,
could be sent to St. Peter's.
But you're looking at the gradings and say that okay, so if I didn't get Presec, there's another A school that I'll get. But we are looking at science for if you want to do science, and we are only going to be looking at the gradings. Then would that give us the result that we want? Because I'm looking at the evidence I have. I've been to some girls, so I'm saying that okay, so somebody wants to do science at he chooses an A school to do science, and we are encouraging you to go to a STEM school, for example. Now you go to an A school that you chose, and they may not have the facilities that maybe a school like Bosomtre Girls may have. So if I'm looking at, I chose grade A, so they should send me to another grade A school, instead of being sent to a school that has the same capacity just as a grade A school. Am I not missing something?
But it's
so that your mind is not just
nowadays up to the parents to make that choice. Because we don't to force any parent to choose schools that they don't.
What about if they don't know and they have to be educated?
That's why we are doing education. We are doing massive education so that the parents will also get to know some of the STEM schools that are available, but not necessarily going to any of the A schools that everybody wants to go. His or child to go there, but at least you are also doing everything possible to encourage parents to also send their kids to. When you went to you visited Bosochi Station, you saw the sort of equipment that are over there. So it tells you that we are changing the narrative. But we expect the parents to also
go along with you,
so that they also subscribe to some of these STEM schools available.
Oh wow! Now let's come to proximity, region by region. Do we have situation where maybe you say Ashanti region? People subscribing to schools there are more than those in Greater Accra based on it. Like if you go to Cape Coast, we have a lot of the A schools. Let's say in Cape Coast, we have about 3 or 4, let's say so. Now, a lot of people will now be migrating to or selecting schools that are in those areas. What system do you put in place to make sure that everybody is spread across, or you still say that it's a choice of the student?
It's a choice. We don't force students to choose certain schools. What we do, sometimes we have about 26,000 subscribing to a school, and I don't know. The only 4% will be.
That is where the problem now comes, and the pressure comes back on you.
Exactly. So that is why the cluster-based system is going to reduce some of these challenges. Because once you choose a certain school, let's say category A, and you don't get prep college, then that's possibility of you getting
another school. Okay.
Within Ashanti region or going to what do you call it? TI Amans, they are all category A schools. So that I believe that this thing is going to reduce some of the challenges that are going on.
Great. Now
For some time now.
Great, thank you. So I'm here with Mr. Ernest Akosa, who is a Deputy PRO for Ministry of Education. We are discussing school placement 2022. We have some of our children who completed junior high school and will be getting into this free senior high school. And so we're trying to find out what we have to do in terms of selecting the schools that they would like to go. And so we are here with him, and he's trying to help us understand what is happening and all that. Now, what is different from, I mean, you talked about the cluster based system that has been introduced this year. Apart from that, what other thing is new?
Well, we've not brought on board many what do you call it, new things altogether, but at least the only thing that we have brought on board is the cluster based,
which is huge in itself.
212 TVET schools that we are also encouraging parents to also subscribe to, not necessarily going to all the grammar schools. And this time around, we also have what you call community day school.
Okay,
the C-stretch must be a day community day school within 60 kilometers radius. So we are also encouraging parents to also subscribe to the day school, because it appears everybody wants to find.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so based on the cluster-based system that you've introduced, somebody chooses an A school and is supposed to. Okay, so the A school, the first choice is full.
The
so
A and the B.
The
A and the B. A, B, C.
Okay, so let's look at. I'm looking at A now. So the person makes a choice of an A school.
Yeah.
The person who makes the choice of an A school has opportunity to be
sent to once
other,
you take yes.
Yes. Okay.
The cluster system is not compulsory.
It's for so those who are choosing yes.
Yeah, you can choose to ignore it.
Okay, so
because once you select a school and say, okay, no, we don't want to be placed under the cluster based. Then if you don't get the A,
you are pushed to B.
The first choice, then you are sent to B.
Okay, so good. So I'm asking for those who have chosen, who take the yes for the cluster based system. If the person chose, let's say, an A school, first one, school A, school B, school C. Now he didn't get school A. He take the yes. So he's supposed to be sent to school B. If he goes to school B,
those schools will be made available to the child.
So if those schools is it? If the person is taking A, I want to be sure of something. If the person is choosing A, is it open that any of the schools in category A is what will give you, or you have stated that?
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Sure. Any of the schools.
So any of the schools.
If you don't get your first choice, then you could be sent to
any of the schools, any of the A schools.
So we have our 6 or 7 cluster schools, all under category A.
So if somebody is at the northern region, Temale, and chose a category A school at their place, take the yes for the cluster-based system. Now he didn't get the school there, and so the option he was given.
That child at the northern part of Ghana, if he chooses Prempeh College, then Prempeh College will have schools under Prempeh College.
Okay.
So in a likely event that he is displaced, then he'll be placed any of the A schools under that class.
Great. And so what you are trying to tell us is that this year, if you're a parent and you are playing, you should be satisfied, because a lot has gone into it. That's what you're trying to tell us.
That is the spirit, because whatever the new thing that we are bringing on board is based on experience.
Okay, great.
Sometimes the child will choose a fancy man, and at the end of the day, he's not placed over there. Then he will come for what you call the manual placement. That child, if you send a child to Holy Child,
okay,
the parents will be happy. So that is why we want to reduce that human interface.
Okay.
So once the child is displaced in any of the category A schools, then you are sent to any of the schools under that cluster.
All right. So now let's look at. Now that you've gotten the school, you've been given the school. What are some of the things you do?
In terms of?
You've been placed. You've already been placed. Now, let's say that, okay, so you've gotten the school. Because a lot of parents get confused when, after they've been placed, the child is placed. What do you do as a parent when you see your child has been placed in a school like Achimota School? What do you do?
Well, I think it's up to the parents to also mobilize resources to send a child to school. And all the timelines will be given out as we get into next year. We'll give out timelines as to the very day that the placements will be done and when they will also be going to school. So
the parents who receive the placement is supposed to go to the school that they subscribed.
Once you are placed in a school, then you check from the online, or then you do the printout. Then you send to the school.
Okay.
Yeah, you send to the school. But I think the first step is you send it to the
junior
high school, for the headmaster to endorse it.
Okay.
Then you send it to the very school that your child was.
All right. So thank you very much. I have Mr. Nesta Kosa, who's a deputy PRO for Ministry of Education. We are talking about the the school placement 2022. It's few minutes to the close of this program. We want to activate the phone lines for you to ask any question, and you can say contribute to the program. You can call us on 0302 20 80 80. 0302 20 80 80. Please call us if you have any question to ask. You can do so. Okay, now let's look at the schools, the selection. Where someone had aggregate, let's say 20, and wants to do science, for example. Now, I'm asking this because we have people who didn't have any foundation in engineering being given the opportunity, like in UMatt and Pentecost University, to do engineering by having a pre sort of information. Now, sometimes you see someone placed in a certain school with a certain aggregate. My question is, the person who is having the 20, is there a system that also says the person has a desire to do science, but then, like you say that the person can't do it based on the result, maybe because of what? But the person, do we have a system where the person is placed in a school that is like maybe have teachers who understand the level of those students to be able to help them come up? Because you can have somebody who had 6 from a school, have another person who had 20 from another, put them in the same class, and you have the person who having 20 doing better than the person with 6.
Yeah, it does happen. Yes, a child will have that desire to read science at the senior high school, and it has to do with the school.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not only the A schools that offer science.
Okay.
Science.
Oh, okay.
You can go to
great
or B schools that are equally good for so that we can go ahead and do.
You are trying to send a very important information this morning, that we must allow, number one, the system to work. Number two, we should not be, like looking for a particular school.
Sure.
Because all the schools, wherever you are placed, the system and the facility, you talk about the fact that you have
to reduce human interface.
Okay.
The whole selection process. That is why this cluster base was introduced.
Great.
It's not only the A school, the B schools too. We also have the opportunity. Once you take years, then you could be placed under the cluster system. So we've had a situation where almost everybody wants A or this school for my ward, and then I know the day this manual selection will take the center stage. But this time we want the automatic placements. I'll take, let's say, 80 to 90%, so that if you want to do the manual placement, it should be based on certain issues that the parents will bring to the CSS PS for redress.
But since you've introduced a computerized placement system, it has been perfect.
Since 2005.
You've been working all round. The machine has not been interfered with. It has been working by itself. What is different from that one and this one?
The manual one.
Yes, because you just mentioned that you want the system to work about 80%, so that if in case some student will not be placed, it will be just about 20%, so that the pressure
sometimes genuinely the child will come to the center that I want my not the child. The parents will come to the center that I want my child to go to this school. Not necessarily that
the system didn't place it, but they don't want it.
Sure. For genuine reasons.
Okay.
I think some people will say, "Oh, I don't want my child to be given boarding status."
Okay.
Yeah, that's happened.
Okay.
Yeah, they will change it from boarding to day. We do that. That's sort of things that sometimes come to the attention of the secretariat.
Okay. So generally, what you're trying to say is that if anyone receives their results, they can go to the secondary school. Whatever challenge they have, there's nothing like a hindrance to anybody entering.
Sure.
There's nothing like a hindrance.
And now I think I mentioned of the regular ones, those who just completed. We also had how do you call it? The private candidates. Yeah, we also have the private candidate. We also have the foreign students.
Okay.
For one reason or the other, somebody traveled or he just landed in the country. So he wants the child to enroll in any of the schools, the A or B or any of the TVET schools.
Okay.
That child is also given opportunity to take an exams. An aptitude test at the GS headquarters. So that when the child is able to perform creditably, then he's placed in any of the choices that the parents prefer.
Last year, someone wanted, I think, a completed junior high school, somewhere 2007. Yes, some. I mean, something like that. I think I
for the 2007 something we don't those people we don't place them.
Good. All right. So
age,
at what
age,
good?
age,
So
age,
at what
age.
at what age? At what? I mean, those who wrote.
Well, this year I think we finished the whole system around March, April.
Okay.
When we had briefing from the Minister of Education,
Okay.
I think he was so emphatic that we shouldn't go beyond 2018.
Okay.
We shouldn't go
Okay.
beyond 20.
Okay. All right. Good.
Completed 2018, 19, 2020, and for one reason they could not get opportunity to enroll in any of the schools. They have opportunity to enter into the system so that they could be placed.
Okay, so this boy's case was that when he completed school, his parents, I think they had some accident and they all passed away. So he was at a washing bay, washing cars, and this woman drove there, and the guy looked so smart and intelligent as he worked. So the woman asked him, why is he here? And he told the story, and then she said, okay, so let me help you because the secondary school is now free, so that you can get enrollment and go to school. But he didn't get.
Wow.
Is it?
How old is it now?
I think I may not be.
Let me
able
get
to.
the particulars of that child.
Okay,
so
because
we see how we can.
Yes. So I think that the woman was. I mean, we had gone through all the processes, but at the end of the day, we didn't get that thing. So I mean, if somebody now we've not done placement. Yeah. Can parents, apart from this radio awareness that we are creating through the media space, where do they go to get information? Is it the school? Is it the
last week? Free SHS Secretariat trained their personnel and they sent to almost every region.
Wow.
To also train what you call the CISOs.
Oh, okay.
They used to be called security supervisors.
Great.
So they also go down to the schools and engage with the parents and then the guardians so that they will take them through the processes that a parent or the child must follow for that child to select the schools. Of
so this is very important. What you are saying, some of you parents, sometimes when your school invites you for some of these meetings, you don't go. But what Mr.
I think they finished the exercise. I think they finished it yesterday.
Great,
yeah,
great. So
the whole process will start from Monday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the selection process will
start from Monday. Yeah, so when are they going to school next year?
We'll give
you give her the time. Okay, great. So what it means is that every information that a parent needs is now with the schools, and so if your parents and the school invite you for any,
the head teacher have been briefed as to what they are supposed to do.
Okay,
the sort of schools that are available for the child to select from.
Oh, okay, all right. So you can call us. We are almost leaving here. 0302-2088. A call if you have a question to ask Mr. Ernest Akosa. Okay, so let me ask another important question that I've had people, ask. The students that are placed. We have schools that are boys' schools, and we have schools that are purely for girls, like you have Osumchi girls' school. Now, if I may ask, why should people go to like a whole boys' school and then a school purposely for girls? Now, if you look at Bosumtrin girls, for example, you have, like a school that is well equipped. You don't have that school in, say, a mixed school. So, boys' schools may have facilities that other schools may not have. Girls' schools have facilities that other schools will not have. Where do we put the two together to ensure that because the school is a girls' school, that is why it is having this kind of facilities, or because the school is a boys' school that's having these facilities? Have we denied mixed schools with facilities?
Oh, no. What government is seeking or has been doing all this while is to ensure that we supply or we invest equitably in any of the schools, regardless of the location or the region that the school is situated.
Yeah.
So when it comes to equipment supply to schools, government doesn't discriminate.
Okay.
Yeah, it's based on merit. Not necessarily merit, but at least it's based on the availability of resources that a government has. So if you go to any of the mixed schools and you realize that they don't have science equipment or they don't have certain laboratories, why not? Government is in the process of ensuring that at least every school is provided with all the equipment that they need so that teaching and learning process will speed up.
Okay, all right. So thank you very much, Mr. Ernest Akosa. Finally, what would you like to tell a parent who is listening to us or someone who is listening to us this morning?
Well, I would like to encourage our parents, guardians to get actively in the whole process, because we had instances where the parents will say, "Oh, I didn't choose this school for my work. It was placed in this school." I say, want that the thing to be a thing of the past. But once you are placed, then you, the parents, have the parent has the responsibility that I chose this school, because at the end of the day, when you finish filling the forms, you have to endorse it to validate the information provided. So you can't come back and tell the head teacher that, "Oh, I didn't choose this school for my work."
And before you validate, you should be careful and sure of what your ward or the teacher has chosen for you. So it's very important.
That is basically what I want parents and guardians to know, that the whole process will kickstart from Monday. So I think the 8th of November.
All right, so thank you much. Mr. Ernest Akosa is a PRO for Ministry of Education. He's been here this morning, talking to us. I tried to ask him all the questions that you've been asking me, and he's done very well to them. I believe that you heard all he said. I was at the placement center last year, and I met a certain lady who told me, I think I should look for those voices and play next week. And she said, I got a school somewhere, and then a teacher there called my mother and told my mother that the school doesn't have facilities, so I shouldn't go. So that is why I'm here to change the school. Please, don't be listening to people. You make a lot of mistakes, I beg you. The schools we have in this country today are almost all A schools because they have been affiliated with all these B schools. You know, it's not the school building, it is the teachers who are there. Remember when the minister went to Cape Coast? And he said, I think last year or so, and he said that if the schools say with aggregated, they should accept them and transform them. When I went to Lashibi Community Day School, the assistant headmaster said that the student that came there came with higher or lower grades, but they've been transformed, and we saw it by ourselves. We saw it because we were there with the school for some time. We interviewed some of the students. We could see these students we have are very, very smart. And so it's all about transformation. If your award is given a school this year, please accept it. Don't go around putting pressure on people and all that. And you should be careful. Just like going to marry and you don't do your homework well, you go and marry and you are seeking for divorce. So don't go and choose a school and then later you decide to change, and the school that you want your ward to go now maybe for. So please, we are pleading with you, just as you hear it on radio, on television, the PROs of the Ministry of Education educating and telling us all that we have to do. Please don't say, I didn't hear. You heard it. And so please do your best. Let's have a smooth school selection, smooth placement this year, and I believe God is with us. We are doing so well as a country, irrespective of whatever we are going through. Education in this country has been very, very good. God bless you for listening to us. I've been here with my producer, Uncle George, our brother Emmanuel Ado. Lauren Shabebio was here with the Jutum Diaries, technicians, and Lady Pastor Vanessa Abe for monitoring us from Word Radio GH. Thank you very, very much, all of you who listened to us this morning. Honorable Dr. Yawas Edition, wherever you are, God bless you. Mr. Paddy, God bless you. Manuel Edusei, God bless you. All of you are the Minister Secretariat, God bless all of you. God bless you. Stay safe, be good. Please, let's pray. Let's not curse our country. This is a blessed land. We are blessed. Everywhere there's fire. We will go through ours just like we went through COVID-19. God is with us. He's not abandoned us yet. God will not abandon us as a country. Let's all pray together for leadership. Let's support, let's have faith in our leaders, because I believe that this will become history very soon. I'm Abraham Edo. I'm out. I'll see you next week again. Stay blessed and be safe. Bye.